What I want for you is I truly hope that you're able to find that language that you just absolutely love. That language that when you read it, when you learn it, you just feel so much joy, so much pleasure that you want to continue learning it. When I was 12 years old, I fell in love for the first time. But it was not with a boy. I fell in love with the German language. And I know that when I say that, especially people who speak German are always so confused. They're like, how can you fall in love with German? I mean, it's such a harsh language. It's hard. The consonants are hard, and the sounds and vowels and the grammar, everything about it is hard and harsh. But there was just something about the language that I absolutely loved. And I was just so fascinated and so motivated to learn German. I remember telling my mom when I was maybe 13 or 14, I must have been a freshman in high school. I told her, Mom, I'm going to study abroad in Germany. I'm going to go and be a high school exchange student. And my mom looked at me because I was a kid in a small town and no one that I knew had studied abroad. And most of the people that I knew hadn't even traveled outside of the United States. My mom was like, no, you're not. You don't know what you're talking about. But here's the thing. I was 14 and I knew exactly what I wanted. What I wanted at the time, I thought, was to go to Austria. I had this fantasy based on maybe it was Sound of Music, I don't know what, but I had this romanticized idea of what it would be like living in Austria. In my fantasy, I would have a host family that wore lederhosen and wore those little brown hats, and we would go to the Vienna Philharmonics and drive through the Alps in our Saab. I mean, it was a very elaborate fantasy. Don't even take into consideration that I don't think Saabs are popular in Germany or Austria, but in my fantasy they were. So that little kernel of wanting to go to Austria at the time led me to work harder to graduate high school a year early so that I could go be a high school exchange student. I ended up in Germany. It was one of the most transformational, amazing experiences of my life. Not only being able to immerse myself in German with a German family and to really get to understand the culture and to learn the language in context through immersion, but just the personal development, my mindset. I mean, mind you, I was a kid who had never got on an airplane until I went to Germany. And then all of a sudden I get on an airplane to travel to another country to spend a year there. Blow your mind, right? I went to Germany when I was 17 and I lived in the northwestern part of Germany. Now, when I got back, I decided that I wanted to study German in college. And I did study German for a while. My love affair with German never went away, though. I mean, I studied German. I'm a college professor by profession. But this idea that a language can feel like it's part of you, that you can love a language, that you truly can fall in love with a language and just be so fascinated by it, that's something that has impressed me, been impressed upon me, that has changed me as a person. And I know that other people feel that way. Some people feel that way about English. Some people feel that way about Italian, about French. People might feel that way about learning Mandarin, about learning Japanese. There's so many languages in the world. What I want for you is I truly hope that you're able to find that language that you just absolutely love. That language that when you read it, when you learn it, you just feel so much joy, so much pleasure that you want to continue learning it. That's what I hope for everyone. I want that for my children even. I definitely want that for my children, really. But I think everyone should go through that experience of loving a language. If everyone went through the experience of falling in love with a language and falling in love with a culture, the world would be a better place. I guarantee it.
And this is the most important part. Have you ever fallen in love with a language? Add a comment sharing your own falling in love story, because I'd love to read about and respond to your experiences. And consider liking this video if you found value in the content.